Where did you?
What's up everybody, this is 12 here, and welcome back to another episode of the Beginning to Master tutorial series. If you have never heard of this series before, it's just basically you choose one character out of the entire roster, and I tell you guys everything I know about that single character. And today's character we're going to focus on is Sarada Uchiha, the Chunin exams version. So just like the previous episode, make sure to tell me which character you guys want me to do for the very next episode, and the character who has the most votes will be the next character. But without further ado, let's get started. So throughout the entire video, I'm going to be making comparisons to this Sarada and the other Sarada, the one from the Boruto movie, since they are basically the same character, but they have very slight differences. So in terms of this Sarada's fundamentals, which is like her attack speed and just her attacks without even hitting the opponents, she has the same unique trait as the Sarada from the movie, which is she gets to throw kunai on her second hit. So this kunai has the exact same properties as the one from the movie. This kunai counts as a projectile, not a attack, which means this is a very big thing. You cannot counter this kunai. It doesn't matter how you do it. So this kunai actually gives her a pretty big advantage because there is just one hit that you just can't counter, and it counts as a projectile. So the big difference between this kunai and the one from the movie is that the Sarada from the movie's kunai can go full screen. This one only goes about close range. So in terms of that very good unique trait, the one from the movie is actually way better. This one is heavily nerfs because this was that was one of the main things that made Sarada from the movie a really good character in this game. But because she doesn't have this really puts her down and just makes her low-key a worse character. So starting off with the neutral combo for Sarada, there's kind of nothing really too special about this neutral combo. It is overall just a really good, fast, hard-hitting neutral combo, and it's actually surprisingly fast in terms of like a fast combo in this game. And this is actually just a really fast combo. And one other thing that actually can be mentioned is that the last two hits don't actually have to connect up with this Sarada. So let's say for example you get all 4 hits off with this combo, but the last 2 hits don't hit, the ending cutscene will still come out, which means that you can actually get some pretty cheeky mix-ups once you really know how to abuse this to your advantage. Next up, we're gonna move on to the down combo. So the down combo is definitely the strongest combo you want to be doing. There's really like 2 reasons why this down combo is really good for Sarada, which we're gonna go through them right now. So the first one is that this down combo is really strong. It's like abnormally fast and strong at the same time. So it's because of the last hit where Sarada smashes the ground. At that point, if they sub, like, it doesn't matter. It's at that point it's subbable combo. So it's just like the neutral combo. The last hit actually doesn't have to link up, because even if you miss like the last 2 hits or the last hit, the ending will still come out and you can still confirm some really good damage. Except this one is actually way stronger. Like with the neutral combo, you may have to time it so that the last hit misses, but with this one, it is very the window is very big. Like you really don't have to hit like the last 2 hits for the ending cutscene to go out. So there's one more reason why this down combo is really strong, and that reason is you can actually link up into a attack pill or just any food pill to cancel your combo at the very last hit where she smacks him on the ground, because it results in a bounce. At this bounce, you can actually just roll towards your opponent. So at this moment, the opponent is going to be in the air whenever you do this, but it is possible to reset your combo perfectly. But you don't even have to do it perfectly. You can actually just keep mashing the button and just keep doing the down combo. And just like I taught you before, that window, you actually don't have to hit the last 2 hits. So technically you can literally just do a down combo right before the last hit, use your attack pill, and then do another down combo, and it will hit. Like it will fully hit as long as as long as you can connect up the combo. So the first thing about the up combo that makes this up combo really special is the bounce at the very last hits. This bounce is legit just the same bounce as we just talked about from the down combo, and because of this, you can just do the exact same thing. You can do the exact same things with this combo as well. But now let's move on to her tilt and her grab. So for her grab, it's actually just very generic. There's nothing really too good about this grab besides that it can go upward. But of course, like all grabs, if you just use it, there is a little bit of lag and you can get punished for it. The only grab combo I can recommend with this grab is the up combo where she smashes the ground. Whenever the opponent is blocking, it can actually get you some pretty good damage. And also, whenever they're not blocking, this can confirm some damage as well. Now to move on to her tilt. So her tilt is actually really amazing. And I think a lot of people don't really know how good this is, but her tilt is basically she just charges forward and then she just slams the ground, smashing the opponent upward. Now, here's the thing though with this tilt, you can actually combo after it. If you literally just keep mashing the button, you can actually just combo right after into one of Sarada's combos, and I think that is really amazing because the range that she can just launch herself is pretty good. But there is one kicker to this, so this will not always work, the tilt into combo, because the only way to get out of this is to rebound out of it. So your opponents can get out of this little tilt to combo, but this is still really good, like, because if they mess up once on the landing, you can legit just get a full combo off. And I think this is kind of worth it, because even if you don't get the combo off, she launches herself pretty far for free with pretty good tracking, so you can just switch out to a different character and then just get a combo off. Like, it's just legit that simple. But this tilt should only be used for mid to close range and to close in on your opponent, regardless if they're blocking or not blocking. So of course, if they're blocking, you want to swap out into another character and legit just get guard pressure off like that. Or if they're not blocking, you kind of just want to mash and then get a combo yourself. But if that doesn't work, well, it's still pretty good because they can't exactly punish you because they got hit by the tilt. So overall, like, it's still pretty good. But now we can move on to her jutsu, and honestly, I think this jutsu is one of the most disappointing jutsus in the entire game. So her jutsu is lightning drill, and it's kind of what you expect from Sarada. Like, it's literally just a lightning Sakura punch, and it looks really cool. I think it's one of the best looking jutsus in the entire game. But the problem with this is that the damage output is too little. It is very poor, and that is without strike back. It's just minuscule. Like, I seen, like, it looks like a grab damage, and I think that's really bad for Sarada because I have not seen any jutsu that does this little damage. So if it wasn't for the damage output, I would say this jutsu would just be standard like all jutsus. It's just it's basically just a Rasengan, but because it does less damage than the average, that means that it is below average, and this is still like a pretty bad jutsu. So use it as Sarada. You can use it in her combos, you know, at any point during the bounce. But if you are going to use it like that, you're going to have to delay it a little bit, because if you use it immediately, you're just going to miss. So you will have to delay it just a tad bit, just like a second, and then you can just use it, and then you can get off some pretty good damage off of Sarada. So using it as support is really not that good because she doesn't turn like at all. She doesn't go completely straight, but when she turns, it's extremely slow. And she does go pretty far, so you can, like, you know, use this to get away from people, but honestly, this jutsu is really not it. Like, she doesn't do anything, and she provides you no guard pressure whatsoever. She doesn't really help you out, she doesn't really like protect you, so it's actually like a pretty bad support. I think this is where this Sarada is really bad at, because the movie Sarada actually had a projectile, one of the best projectiles in the entire game, because you couldn't dash past it. But this one is just a huge nerf to her arsenal. So this is really like low tier of a jutsu. But whenever you combine this jutsu with, I don't know, a strike back or her combos, it starts to be pretty good. Like, this is where the redeeming factor of this jutsu comes in, because this jutsu can dish out pretty good damage, but only if it links up with her combos. So basically, average jutsu whenever using as Sarada, and bad support. I wouldn't ever recommend someone to actually use this support. But now we can move on to her ultimate jutsu. So her ultimate jutsu is pretty self-explanatory. It's literally, you can just use it during the bounces. Like, that is the best opportunity and way to actually cancel into her ultimate jutsu. So the first one is the up combo. I think this is pretty much like the best one right here because it's kind of almost impossible to miss. So you will have to delay it just for like a little bit. But if you delay just a little bit, you can just link it up pretty perfectly. But a better way to use this ultimate jutsu during the up combo is to roll back and then do the ultimate jutsu. So the game thinks that it is a unscaled ultimate jutsu. And the last ultimate jutsu cancel is literally at the down combo. But to do this ultimate jutsu cancel, you will have to roll back and then do the ultimate jutsu, because if you try to cancel it normally, it will not work because they are too far in the air. And now we can move on to Sarada's Awakening. So Sarada's Awakening, she basically has two alternate abilities, which the first one is the Fire Style Phoenix Flower Jutsu, and the second one is Lightning Flicker. Except this one is in the air and not on the ground, so it doesn't even have the same properties as the one Sarada from the movie. So, but other than that, like, she's the exact same Sarada. So the only difference I would say with this Sarada is to literally just use your projectiles at long range and then swap to a different character, and then use those projectiles as cover. Otherwise, you can just use Sarada in Awakening how you always been using it, because it's literally the exact same character. So this Sarada is very different from the one from the movie. So overall, I will have to say that the one from the movie is overall better, just because of the mechanics of Sarada just works better on that one than in this one. For example, her kunai goes farther, and her jutsu actually are just a much better jutsu. The one from the movie is very defensive and trappy, while this one from the Chunin exams is actually more of an aggressive type of Sarada. The whole plan for this Sarada is to go in and then kind of punch. It's very similar to Sakura's playstyle. So that's actually the perfect definition for this Sarada. She's more of an aggressive playstyle, but all of her stuff is a tad bit weaker than the one from the movie. So with this Sarada, I would say her best trait is literally in her kunai and her combos, because it's a worse version of the kunai from the one from the Sarada from the movie, but it's still a kunai. Like, don't get me wrong, like, it's still really good. You can't counter this, and it does go at mid range, and you can follow up with it. This is really good. This has always been one of the best features in Stormforges in general. So one special thing about Sarada that I think is really good on this one is the fact that the window for her combos are really big. And I think once you start abusing this with this Sarada, you will see how good she really is, because you can confirm some easy damage from just nothing. Especially with that combo I taught you about doing the up combo or the down combo during the bounce, and you can literally just roll, use an item, and then continue with another combo. That once you master that, you're gonna see the window of Sarada, how like the last hit of the down combo really does not have to link up, and she'll just jump at the opponent and just finish her cutscene. It's pretty spectacular actually. Her tilt, I think, is really good. I think this is actually one of the best tilts for actually going in, because it almost has no debuffs. Like, you can just combo right after it if they're blocking. You can switch out if you think it's too dangerous, or like if they do get hit by it, you can literally just follow up with another combo of your own. Like, this is just kind of insane. But then you got some stuff on Sarada that is really not that good, which is her grabbing her jutsu. And I would say, like, yeah, they're pretty much either average or bad. But if you know how to use Sarada, this is really good. You can really play very aggressive with this one, and you can go in, especially when you use spacing of her kunai. But that is going to be the end of the video for Sarada. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to tell me who else you want me to do for the very next episode. My name is Jutsu12, and I'll see you guys next time.